And it's recording now. Okay, cool. All right. So, Ron, you were sharing with them some things you'd found out about the Behemoth from reading that book at Vander's shop, correct?
Correct.
All right.
And then we were talking variant strategy.
Okay. All right. Thank you for giving me that moment. At this point, the creature seems to be wearing down. It's hurting, but it's still got a lot of fire left in the tank. You guys put some really heavy hits on it so far. But I have a feeling the battle's just beginning. At the top of the turn, now was Dahon. Dahon went. You just performed this charge attack. You are right up next to the creature now within melee range, correct, Danny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was there anything else that you had that you need to do on your turn?
Oh, actually, yeah, he'll use his bonus action and hit him one more time. Yeah, he misses.
Okay. So when you go to swing one more time after you do this charge, you've got your horns up in full behemoth mode. You strike a hefty 59 points of damage against him, which is duly noted. It's one of the best hits on him so far. You try an extra swing, does not find purchase. Go
Actually,
ahead.
I have to admit it was a natural one. He definitely missed. Probably fell on his face.
Okay, well, we're going to roll and see right now because I have a chart for that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you kind of did. You are prone underneath the large claws of this son of a gun as you got a little cocky and you tried an extra little sucker punch at the end of your charge and you are now in the prone condition underneath of him. Yeah, there's that. Okay, the next person up on the list is Jadite. Jadite the Druid. Let's go over to your character here real quick, buddy. What is...
Yep, quick question. Is Dahon still within my healing aura?
Tell you in a second. You know what? I'm going to say... I'm going to say roll 1d20, Alex. 1 through 10, he is. 11 through 20, he is not.
14.
Well, if he's standing in the green, he is.
He's not standing in the green. He's standing on the far edge of it.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's prone, right? Yeah. Okay, that's gonna change my action up a little bit.
Oh, well, he's saying I fell prone, so I think that's what he's saying is I fell back into it. I got it now.
Well, that's fine. Let's look at it real quick to make sure. Because when you fall prone, you fall straight down. You don't move 5 foot. That's established. So let's go ahead and clear out a little bit of mud here, and let's look and see exactly where it is that you're standing, okay? So I'm going to go to the healing aura. It's already turned up, I think, as far as it can be.
Right.
Okay, so let's turn a couple other things off real quick. It'll only take a second here. Let's turn Scorched Earth off.
Just bring it up a couple layers.
Let's turn Behemoth off. Just a minute. We'll get there. And now let's turn Gaia off. You're outside the area.
Alrighty.
I mean, you can't argue with that. It's right there in front of us.
Nope, we're good.
Okay. And what else did I turn off here? Scorched Earth. Okay. A lot of spells going on. All right. So, Scott. Now, sorry about the wait there, buddy. It is your go. He is just outside the range. He was so determined to get this charge and hit this son of a gun, and it paid off well, but he's just a little bit overzealous and just outstepped the boundaries of the unicorn spirit that you have cast in this area. What are you doing? You have a bonus action to move it, correct?
Yes.
There you go. What are you going to do, bud?
Not wanting to waste my bonus action, but
Right.
so I'm going to nonchalantly float closer to Dahan. I think I can reach him in 60 feet, right?
Ooh, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Just at.
Okay.
Just adjacent from him diagonally at 60 foot. Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Okay, now when you say nonchalantly, are you sneaking?
No.
Okay.
Just like in a calm manner, just
Kind of
floating,
off there.
like
Okay.
like floating towards him.
Okay, you are floating
Um,
across the battlefield.
yeah.
La la la.
Yep.
La la la.
Without a care in the world.
And there he is. What's going on, guys?
All right. So as a bonus action, I want to use my bonus action first to move my unicorn.
Where to?
I'd say I can move up to 30. I can move up to 60 feet. I'd like to move it just underneath Jadite.
There you go. That's what it looks like when you move it.
Awesome.
It is awesome. Okay, so that's your bonus action, buddy. What's next?
All right. So my actual action is going to be me, like, as best as I can while I'm floating, like bending over to touch his shoulder, Dahan's shoulder.
Yes.
I'm not trying to pick him up or anything, but I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at a third level.
Okay, so that's going to be 7 magic points.
Yep.
And go ahead and roll what your Cure Wounds is doing.
So Cure Wounds, let me look for it. Sorry, I normally have this ready. Heck, magic. Okay, so it's it's third level, so it's 3d8 plus 4.
Okay, roll it up.
It's an 8, a 7, a 2, 8.
It should be higher than a +4 for you, Scott.
That's what I have on here, plus 4.
Get
It should be plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Oh, so my spellcasting ability modifier, is that my spell attack bonus? Oh, it's 4. It's still 4.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's a
if you
4.
get like a 17 or 18, or I think an 18 or 19, you get a +4 to your stat.
Yeah. So Dahan heals for 19 points of damage, plus an additional 8 points damage for my aura, and then my giant spider that got pushed out of the way also healed for 8 points.
Nice, buddy. Good job, Scott. Okay, so Dahan, does that pretty much fill you up?
Yes, it does.
That's badass, sir.
And then as a free action, I quickly hushed the pixies. So real quick, the Almexia, she was sitting on my shoulder. So can she travel with me when I move?
Yes.
Or okay, can you move her with me?
Are you nitpicking me?
Sorry.
It's terrible. I can only move one token at a time. You're being impossible. Yes, I can move her. She's right beside you. Everything's fine. Okay.
Right. So I hush the pixies and say, stay with the plan. And as I'm healing Dahan, I say an epic, if I can find it.
I know what you're doing.
Once more into the fray.
Once more into the
In that tone of voice, the Liam Neeson voice.
I know what it
Once
is.
more into the fray.
Once more into the fray.
And that's it. That's all he's going to be doing.
It's midichlorians. Okay, so that is the end of Judite's turn. And what a turn it was. Okay, number 3, we got to do some rolls for the big guy because some shit is hitting the fan. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure he's not confused any longer, correct?
Yes.
Roll me a DC, a 1d20 plus whatever the bonus was, and I will see if he's able to overcome the confusion.
18, 19, 20, 23.
Shit. And that's a wisdom?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, he did not pass, but I'm going to use something, and he does.
Is that a reaction?
No, it's a legendary action.
Okay.
And this will be the 3rd one that he's used, if we're keeping score. Okay. So don't fret, because that's important to get that shit out of the way, Scott. It's very important. But he uses that, and that is that situation. Okay. Now, as he looks down and he sees Dahon on the ground prone in front of him, okay? And he's got this spider web stuck between his large horns. You're there curing right up on him and stuff, and he looks down from it, and he's seeing this, and he's remembering what he has to do. You see the thing a little cloudy-eyed for just a moment, and then all of a sudden this low growl starts deep from inside of its chest. You can almost hear it coming out of that large red chest wound that it has from all the attacks that we've done on it. And all of a sudden, Dahon, as you're looking up, it looks down upon you, the drool splashing out from its large fangs. As it looks to you in its eyes, the cloudiness parts. And there's these small pupils inside of these large eyes, and it just, every muscle in the top of its head creases up, and like dozens of different creases in between her as it stares down upon you. Furious. Okay? The creature is going to take an action and do a tail sweep maneuver to everybody within 15 foot of it. It's going to do a 360 turn. This will take its full major action. Everyone within the area must do dexterity saving throw. Go ahead, Scott.
Never mind. If I have to do a saving throw, then never mind. I was gonna say, would my elusive step be able to be used against this attack?
No, not on this one, because it's not a singular attack. It's not melee directed just on you. It's an area. But I get what you're saying, and that's going to come in good later if he's trying to tusk your ass, but not on this one. Good call. The DC for this dexterity is going to be what he rolls on his attack. So let me roll that, and I'll tell you what he gets. It's going to be 20. Everyone roll me a dexterity saving throw. It's going to be for the spider. How far? The pixie was on your shoulder. It's going to be for the pixie. That's going to be for you and Dahon. I will start with Dahon. What was your roll, buddy?
All right, I went ahead and rolled with disadvantage because I'm prone.
You're prone, correct.
And that would be, unfortunately, a 17.
Okay, so full damage for Danny. Scott, what about your character personally?
So Jedi got a 21.
Okay, you will take half damage from this and half the effect. I will say the pixie is on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
It is a small creature. I'll give it advantage on the roll.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll twice for the pixie and give me the best of the two.
So 16 plus 4, 20.
That exactly passes. So only half to the pixie. Okay? And then the spider.
$13.
Okay, the spider
13.
tips. Okay, so everything within 15 foot of it. It's going to spin mightily here. Okay? It has these large spikes on its tail. If you get a closer up of its tail in the pictures, you'll see that these aren't long hairs. They're actually like almost porcupine-like spikes. And normally if a person's prone, sometimes they can elude things like this, but this is almost like a damn street sweeper going over the area. It's not like it's missing a little bit anywhere up to like 6 foot up off the ground. It does a clean sweep. As it does this, Ignatius, Bast, the guys in the audience, see a cloud of dust and debris spatter about all over the place in this area as he does this really quick kind of sidestep, and he roars real loud as he's putting all of his effort into this. It's kind of as it spins around, it connects with everyone in the area, but some fare better than others. The damage for this move is, okay, $20 points of slashing damage. Go ahead and do your modifiers, and I want everyone to know if it didn't break your breach on your, if it didn't break your armor's breaking points, you know, deduct it. If it did break your armor's breaking points, this is what you minus off of your armor points right here.
What was the attack roll?
I'm sorry, what's that, Scott?
What was the attack roll? All I did was a saving throw.
On this one, it's an area thing. It hits everybody. It's a radius thing.
Right. So how do I calculate my my armor points
It
to
did
it?
20 damage, so you would have took 10. So whatever your damage reduction is, you would subtract that from this, okay? Or was 10 more than your armor protects you from?
So just to be clear, the way I'm going to do this, because it's 20, his damage reduction would have passed. It would have met by 3. He also has a damage reduction for being in behemoth form, but I think that unless that touches his skin by getting through the armor, you wouldn't use that. So he's going to take the armor point damage.
Do me a favor, Danny. Roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Natural 19, he's nailed that.
Okay, so your concentration wasn't broken when he took you up and threw you and knocked you down. Okay, so you still will have behemoth form up, but it's hard to cling on to it. So everybody knows, Danny, you understand how to work this. You know the behemoth mantle that you have gives you sudden resistance plus being in his mode. I'm just going to kind of guide Scott through it real quick. So what's your damage reduction because of your armor, Scott? It's not very much, right?
Right. It's only 4.
Okay, so you would have taken.
I'm sorry, 5. 5.
Okay, so you would have taken 5 points of lethal damage. Okay, but because it broke through your armor, it does double the armor points to you, and I'll tell you what that is here in just a minute. He has a much larger dice to do non-lethal damage than you do because of his gargantuan size. Okay, that does 13 points of damage to your armor points. Okay?
Okay.
Everyone is knocked back away from him 15 foot. All right, so let's go ahead and move everybody here a little bit. Jadite, move you here. Don't worry, I'm going to move Elmexia for you. I'm going to scatter her about a little bit. Dahon is going to be moved back to just as soon as I close this and find you, buddy. There you are. You will be knocked 5, 10, put you about right there. And the spider just barely passed it, didn't it?
No, it failed.
Okay, the spider failed. Is the spider still alive?
Yes.
Okay, let me make sure I'm doing the right one. That's it, right there. Okay, got it. 5, 10. Go back right here with the spider. I'm going to move you back a little bit further, Jadite.
Okay.
Okay. I think that works for that. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so With that, Danny is the only one that did not make the saving throw on it. You are still prone. Everyone else was knocked back 15 foot, but is standing still. You were knocked prone again. So it's like pretty much kicking a hacky sack. you were down, and it's just scooting you a little further, okay? That is its one action.
So my spider, it failed too as well, so it's prone too?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep a note of that for me, okay? Okay, now that's its major action. Now I'm going to use its bonus action. Just a minute. Okay, it is not going to use that right now. And then it will use, yeah, I might as well do it. Let's see, let's go. And he's going to save up, and I get to roll a check here to see if he gets some points back. And that's awesome. Okay, got it. +2, got it. Okay. With that, let me see what he wants to do on his movement. He is within that radius right now. I am going to move him. Let's see. 5, 10. And I'm going to do the damage from the area here in just a minute, okay? 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 35.
His movement was halved when he came out of, until he came out of,
I know. I did it he had 10 foot to get out of there, and it took 20.
okay.
I calculated that in, okay? So let me roll the damage for him moving. He only had to move 5 foot in mine, but he had to move 10 foot in yours. So every
Mine doesn't,
foot, what does yours do?
mine doesn't cause damage after the first one. It just makes it, so it's an instant damage, and then it's difficult terrain after that.
Okay, he would have taken 10 fire and earth damage from Rain Lord's spell. Scorched earth that was on the ground around him. Let me mark that down. Okay, got it. And I need the spider to roll me a dexterity saving throw. Another one with a DC of 22.
18.
Okay. The spider takes trampling damage. Anything caught in the behemoth's path when it runs, it doesn't have to try to attack you. It simply walks over top of you nonchalantly, but it tramples you in the process. It's one of its abilities.
Yep.
So if it's close to walking around, they can just walk on top of your ass, and it's a really bad situation. The damage for that. It's 15 points of bludgeoning damage. Oh, wait a minute. Your character's prone, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's That's 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
And it's not a spider anymore. It's a bewildered pixie on the ground.
Okay. So with that, make sure I see which one it is again. Okay, we're going to make him disappear. Okay, and we are going to bring a pixie back. Give me just a minute, because that's going to be tricky. There he is. And it is back here in his wake. Actually, it stopped just damn near close to him. So you're up there. Damn, roll me a 1d10 or a 1d20, 1 through 10, and you are free of it. 11 through 20, and you are still stuck underneath of its foot. You want low on this, Scott. 1 through 10 is what you want.
5.
Okay, you are okay. You're in
5.
this area. You're sharing a spot with its rear foot, but when you shifted, you're able to fly it from between its large toes and claw nails, or lay there in between it, almost like a big dinosaur print, and it went down right around you. As you
Right.
morphed out of the shape of the spider, Then you're looking, you're in between two large big toes and claws, and you're looking up, and your pixie's like, holy shit. Okay? So that's a cool one. All right. So that will end the Behemoth's turn. Next up is Rainlore, my character. Okay. So Rainlore, again, you know, I'm trying to decide how I want to do this because I'm liking what's going on here. I'm doing what I need to be doing to it. I'm limiting its movement, but this is going to wear off soon. I'm going to go ahead and move my scorched earth up to 30 foot. And I will move it to encompass the center of him. Okay. When entering the area, on the beginning of its next turn, it will have to roll damage, but it doesn't happen immediately. It has to start off its next turn. But it'll make it difficult terrain. And then where's my distance at? I have a shot. Tamardin, arrows are going to come whizzing over top of your shoulders, buddy. As Rainlore is going to release some shit here, okay? But I've got a special surprise. He's not going to do this in the atypical way. And make sure I've got the stuff to do it. Just a minute. Okay. You're going to love this, Danny. Rainlore is going to use his action and he's going to invoke something and he is going to take off running. Okay? Instead of shooting. Okay, he doesn't have to keep concentration on this. Once it's up, it lasts for duration until it does so much damage and it fizzles out. Rainlore is in his Centurion form, as you guys know. Okay? As he stands back there and he stows his bow on his back, he says some words as those dark blue and black flames begin to flicker around the feet of Rainlore's character. Almost like you've seen pictures of a nightmare where it looks like a black stallion that has the fire erupt around its feet. And as he does, Rainlore runs an arc at full speed, which is going to be his movement for him. He's going to use his whole action. It's going to be 80 because his bonus action was used to move the spell. So let me move him real quick. Let me get on him real quick. Rainlore. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. 75, 80. When he runs across there, he leaves a 5 foot tall, fluctuating between 5 and 8 foot tall, bluish black spectral flame trail behind him in his wake that makes almost a fire line as he divides the creature from you all. It would have to go through a lot of its ghostly death flames to be able to get to you at this point. Let me cause that effect real quick on the map, okay? Just a minute. I'll do a new layer. Okay, do it here. Layer 2. Let's do airbrush. Yeah, let's do airbrush. Let's do, see what kind I want to do here. Textures, cloudy. Let's do a big size here. That's about right. Let's do the color of like a dark blue, if we would. Oh, stop. Just take me a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, let's just do like that kind of color purple. Okay, and I want to use let's use a brush. There you go. Oh, that's going to be cool looking. Okay. All right. I'll minimize it a little bit. A little bit more. That'll work. Okay, where was my character? I'll take the density down a little bit. He was down this side of Cameron, was he not? I think he was about right here, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I have to change the density a little bit. There we go. Okay. And just one more minute here. I'm almost got it. Blackfoot Flame Stride. And we have this cool effect, everybody. Does that work?
Yeah.
And you have these blue-black flames that are making a divider line between you and him. He will take damage if he crosses through that to get to you guys, okay? All right. That will be the end of Rainlore's turn. Next up, Tamardin.
Well, now that he can fly and he has 60 foot of movement, I'd like to close that distance. And then, because this is the third round, he now has 3 attacks. And it's going to suck for this guy. First of all, I'm going to use a superiority die, which gives me advantage with the feint attack.
Okay, so just before you close the distance, where would you like to stand around him, Danny? Right in his
I want
front,
to get
leg in
I
the middle,
want right in front of him.
back, right in front of him. Okay, so
Right in front of him. I want that bloody spot.
I'm going to let you pass over top of this wall. How with the fly spell? How high up can you go, Scott?
It just says 60 feet. So I'm assuming you can go 60 feet straight up or 60 feet on the ground or wherever you're currently at straight forward.
There's 45 foot. And normally with these firewalls and shit like that, hey, Ron, if you cast like a flame wall, but you have allies, are your allies able to go through that? Or is it a wall that deters everybody? You're muted, sir.
Yeah, that was a flame wall.
Well, the equivalent of.
Okay.
Alex, I would like Oma to roll a perception check, please.
Ready? Oh, natural 1.
Okay, here's what you get, and everyone this will be neat, especially you, Ignatius. As you're sitting there and you're keeping your concentration on this pillar, okay, I want you also to roll a concentration check. So that's going to be Constitution. So roll me one of those, please.
One again. Okay.
I couldn't hear your voice real good. What was the roll for the Constitution?
Another natural one.
Are you shitting me? Damn it, Alex. You better just go and curse yourself. You've made somebody mad. So what
I'm
happens
getting-
there is you notice that you feel that because of the fight, you're so involved with the people going on and you're helping maintain this force field that is keeping the behemoth and all the bad things inside of the arena from affecting everyone outside. You have lost your focus temporarily. Also because of the worry of these Rougarous, these bugbear-like creatures that you know could be in here somewhere. And as it's dawned on you, you have lost your concentration on that pillar for a few moments. And having said that, there are other people around you that are having to work harder now to keep the concentration up on the force field. Okay. Also, on top of that, and I'll get with you in just a minute, Ron. I kind of want to get her involved a little. Been a long night. On top of that, you see two Rougarous walking along the outskirts of this place, and they've got those Dragona, those red, like hound-looking drake, kind of half beast, half dragon things that are the size of a canine dog, or the size of a Great Dane dog, on chain leashes that have spikes, and they're walking them around the perimeter of this arena. Okay? Now, because of your very low perception check, you're not exactly sure what they're up to, but knowing the guards don't seem to be seeing anything, and you knew that they were herding a bunch of them in earlier the day prior. They were bringing a bunch of these dogs in, these hunting creatures. But now you're just seeing them being paraded around the outside of the rim of this place, and you are extremely nervous, which is why possibly you failed your check. Okay?
Okay.
Keep that in mind, and we'll get back to you here in just a minute, all right?
Alrighty.
Danny.
All right, I am not going to concern myself with going over the fire. I'm going to go right through it.
Well, that's fine, Noel, but I want to see what Ron says about the damage of it. Can friendlies go through it, Ron?
I would say no. The way that wall of fire is written, one side, if you're within 10 feet of the wall, you take damage. The other side, you take no damage. So the way that is written to me, it would seem like the side the party is on would be the side that takes no damage. So
Okay.
I would think then
Okay.
you would, obviously, if you were on the other side or pass through, you would take the fire damage.
Okay. Well, I'll say that Rainlore's train of thought was this. Tamerlan was able to temporarily fly for now, and he's seen that Dahon has been knocked down twice and prone, taking some serious hits. So he's just trying to create that defensive line between us. Still makes sense. Rainlore doesn't know everything that Dahon's made of, even though he's knocked on the ground, he's trying to help. So I like
Now the wall is also specified at 20 feet tall.
Okay, this would be a minor version of this. This would only be 10.
Okay, so if he was up 15 feet, he could go over it.
Okay, yeah. Easily, yeah. This is
Which
only
coincidentally, he should have enough, right? By the time he reaches it, should have around 15 feet left.
Yes. Yeah, that would have
All
taken.
right, then. I guess I'll go over it this time, but he's not concerned with it.
Well, you might be caught on the fire of them black flames, my friend, but we'll see. All right. So you went up over top of the wall.
Oh.
And you are still hovering. Yes.
Sorry. My pixie's with him. So wherever he goes, he has to go because of the concentration.
Oh, okay, cool. Which pixie was that?
Scout, number 2.
Okay. Okay, Scout.
So I don't know how small a dwarf is compared to a pixie. I don't know if it's like one of those like your 3-year-olds on your shoulder type deal, or is he actually being able to?
I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to say your pixies are about a foot.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to be able to hover around him.
Okay.
Okay, so Danny, the pixie is with you and moving with you, okay? I will allow that for this game. Normally it'd have to take its own turn and its own movement, we are going to say that is attached to you just for the sake of the game. Now, also, Scott, since it had to move there, I don't want you to use a whole bunch of movement on the pixie's next turns, okay? Because it is sticking with his character. I think that's
Right. They
fair.
don't plan on moving.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So you're there, Danny. Lots to take care of. Sorry about that, sir. Please go ahead and tell
All
us.
right. So real quick, I have a question before I make this attack.
Yeah.
Is how close together, if we're looking at where he's standing versus his front leg, his chest, and his next leg, how far apart are those, counting that big area of his chest?
You mean the gap in the front of his chest between his two front legs?
Yeah, I'll make it easy. I'm asking, could I hit him more than once with a cleaving strike?
Here's the thing about a cleaving strike. You could not. Because you're already doing the full damage of the weapon to one target, and the way cleaving strikes work is it leaves that target and does equal damage to a secondary target. All you're doing is ripping that first target the same. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you roll a 20, that would mean you really dug in there and got it. But that's how the mechanic of the cleaving strike works. It's a good thought, but it wouldn't work.
All right. I already rolled my dice a minute ago with advantage, but I'll roll them again if you want.
Well, you gotta tell me what you're doing first before you roll.
Okay. Well, I used so what I'm doing is he'll just use his 3 attacks. But with this first one, he uses his bonus action first to use a feint attack and a superiority die, which gives me advantage on my first attack. I've already rolled those 2, but I'll re-roll them since we had some time in between, or I can use them as they like.
You know what, Dave? This time I'll let it go because you did say you were going to take 3 attacks this turn. And you did say you were going to use your superiority dice. I remember that being said. So I'm not going to punish you for that. Just next time, just make sure you tell me first so I can keep track of things. Okay, buddy?
All right. So with that, the advantage, I got a 16. So on top of that, he is going to use his weapon specialty to bring up, which his total attack roll is a 16. That's a 31 to that,
that is a
spot.
Breaching hit regardless.
For critical hit, I got a 2 in addition to that, which brings that up to an 18, which makes it damage and a half.
That's awesome.
And half. All right.
You bastard.
How much? With a 31, I know that he needed a 20 to hit that because he has no armor points on that. 21, correct?
Yep, pretty close to that.
All right, so I beat it by 10 or more, which gives me an extra 1d6. And he is using with this first strike Foe Slayer at the bigger level, which costs 7 magic points. Let me write that down real quick.
I just want you to know that Danny's packed a lot of black powder into this one. He might explode. You don't know what's going to happen. Cameron's head's going to pop off.
So with that, let's go with the Warhammer damage, 1d10.
It's a great Warhammer. Let's be clear. It's a great Warhammer.
Yeah, that would be 7.
Okay.
Plus the superiority die. That would be 4. Which makes it a total of 11. True Strike gives him an extra d6 because he beat the armor class by so much.
Right. It's a great feat. It's a great feat.
15. And then he has Foe Slayer, which is 1d6 times his proficiency bonus at this level. And oh shit, that would be 6 times 4, which is 24. That is a 39. At damage and a half would be plus 17. No, plus 18, sorry. 19.
Okay.
58 plus his 11.
Now, is this the first attack that you're building all this into?
This is the first attack, 69 points of damage.
Okay, stop there. That's fantastic. Okay, that's very fantastic. So between pulling all these feats and doing this shit, Cameron just puts a hurdy on the Behemoth, hitting it right into the chest. Jedi, you guys can't quite see him in there, but you can hear the ah, and you can just see the thing quiver as he's in between the big front legs of this thing, just doing damage, doing like full Greco-Roman spins, or not Greco-Roman, but the spins when they throw like the hammer in the Olympics. He's just there twirling. But with a reaction, it is going to attempt to do its abolishing strike on you with its horns. It is going to come down and it's going to try to counter your horns with a weapon strike to reduce that damage. Okay?
Would the webbing have any adverse effect on it?
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. Okay? Not good for Danny, because it's not really, it's a net caught all up in between his horns. It adds an element of some shit that he's going to have to deal with here in a minute, which makes it very interesting. Liking it?
He's gonna get stuck.
Could be. Could be. But what's going to be, let's just play it out. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so, Danny, what was your roll to hit there when you did that one, please, sir?
It was
Abolishing strike doesn't work that way. What is your, do you have abolishing strike as a feat, Danny?
I do not.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the mechanic to it.
Let me look it up real quick.
Please, real quick. Because there's a certain roll I have to make. And that hits in your general area, then I roll damage for it. And the damage I roll for my horn attack is deducted from your damage. Because it's almost like two swords clashing. Which one wins? It's a really neat mechanic. Did you find it yet, buddy?
Abolishing strike.
Yes.
You may use your reaction to counter an attack that would hit you. The DC for this roll is the total of the attack roll made by the opponent, which was, if I recall, was an 18 plus 15.
It was like a 30-something, wasn't it? It was like a 31, I thought you said.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was 31.
Okay. So I have to roll an attack roll higher than a 31 to be able to hit this and then match its damage. So he's going to try it, because, I mean, it's a lot of damage, okay? I'd have to roll high. So let me add this to it. Is there something he can do with the use of one of those points that he just got back? Okay, I'm going to do it right now. Okay, this is my big chance. I better not blow this for one.
How many sizes is he bigger than me? He's 3 sizes, correct?
At least.
So he actually, reading this, if I was trying to block somebody 3 sizes bigger, I would have to roll 3 and take the lowest. So I think he rolls 3 and takes the highest.
Correct. Got 28 on that one. $21 on that one. One more chance. Damn. Nope, he wasn't able to do it. With his reaction, he comes down and tries to swash at you with his horns and shit, and he tries to attack it at you when you're trying to do this, but you're able to elude them, and he's not able to get quite in deep enough. I'd say on the muscles in his neck, as far into his chest as you are hammering away at him, he can't get his horns down to hit you, okay? So he's scraping the ground all over the place around you. You see this big netting of web between his two great horns, knocking sparks into these granite stones on the ground. He cannot reach you. You did that full damage to his breaching spot. He is bloodied and beyond a little bit now, people.
All right, so his second attack gets a +1 with a natural fucking 20. Outstanding.
Did you really?
1d10. Swear to God.
Damn, dude.
Shit.
Damn.
Red die. So that is 1d10, which is 18 plus 11 is another 29.
Okay. Is that the total there? That's 29 damage for that attack, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then his third attack is a 28,
Okay, that's
which would be,
that hits him, but it doesn't breach
oh, I
him.
reroll ones and twos. It does because he's in that spot.
You got to call those shots. You got to let me know that you're doing called shots every single time you're swinging, Danny.
Oh, I thought I was clear. I was coming in to beat up on that spot.
All right. This time I'll let it go. Next time, call those out ahead of time. Each one when you're
All
doing
right,
that.
because I have great weapon. Because great weapon is his fighting style, I re-rolled the 1. That's a 4. That's 15 more. So that's his 3 attacks, but because he has finishing combo,
Okay, which would be a bonus action, right?
he gets, yes. Trying to think. Do I use my bonus action to use my superiority die?
You did.
Right, because I think that's it takes my bonus action. So I cannot finish that out.
That's
However,
still good.
fuck him, I have action surge.
God damn, you do, don't you? You're
So I'll go ahead and make 3
warrior.
more.
Damn, Danny.
So I'll go ahead and make. So now that I get a whole new action, bonus action, using my, once again, feint attack to get my superiority die again.
Hey, now listen. When you do that, it's just the action. It's not a bonus action.
Okay.
That's
Oh, in that case,
you
I
get
will
3 more
use
attacks.
my 3 attacks.
Yeah.
All right, so that would be a 29 to the spot. All these are to the spot. Make that clear right up front.
29 just hits it. That breaches.
Reroll the 1 because of that. So that's 20 points of damage. Sorry, it's plus 15 to hit.
It's all right.
So another 20. Attack number 2 is a 14. It's 29 again.
That breaches. Go ahead.
That is another 20 points of damage. And the third attack, 16 plus 15 is 31. And I'll add the true strike on that. 31. Do I beat him by 10?
Just that.
All right, so that gives me an extra 1d6 and 4, 9, 20 again.
Okay, with that, the behemoth is starting to look rough, which means it's down to a quarter. Okay? When you bloodied it, it gets an automatic action once bloodied. Okay? As you are going through there and you are haymaker at this son of a gun, it is going to do this roar. Okay? When it does, everyone within 20 foot, you got you got all those fairies, and you got 5, 10, 15, 20, and you got Dahon, need to do wisdom saving throws against a DC of 17.
What is this effect? Just curious.
Your mind.
Oh, well, fuck him.
You said 17?
Yes.
All 3 of my fairies failed.
Okay. And Tamardin, how did you do?
My Helm of Vigilance allows me to counteract any spells or abilities that try to trick the mind of its wearer.
Correct.
So on the next turn, I get some stuff.
Okay, you still have to roll a saving throw versus it, but you just get a bonus, right?
Got a wisdom 15 plus 3, 18.
Okay, you passed. So that means that you are immune to it for how long? I think that's how it works.
I get a plus 1d4 for the next 3 rounds against it.
Okay, that's cool. So he has this Helm of Vigilance that once he passes a saving throw of something that tries to affect his mind, he gets bonuses to pass it in the future for the next long rest period. Okay?
Oh.
Which is a very neat item. Okay, Dahan, how did you do? You are still prone, by the way, Dahan.
Dahan is stupid. Oh, no, he's not. Dahan has a class ability. I've got to go to it, but basically things that cause other people fear work backwards on him.
While you're looking that up, Danny, let me go ahead and talk about his pixies and what's going on. Okay?
Right.
Your pixies, Scott,
Mm-hmm.
take 12 points of psychic damage each.
Yep.
And are feared for the next 2 turns. If they're within direct line of sight of this creature, they have to use their turn to get away from the creature. And all
Does it
attacks.
break concentration?
Oh, well, yeah, you got to roll right now to see if the damage made you break concentration. So try that.
Okay, what do I roll?
Just 1 minute. Oh, fuck, sir. 22? Yeah.
Failed.
22. All right, on. Okay.
Tamardin's fallen.
So,
If he's up in the air.
oh shit. So let's roll. No, Tamara came back down and was at his chest. So
Oh, okay.
roll me a 1d. I'd say he's pretty tall, Tamardin. Roll me a 1d10 to see how many feet you were floating in the air when you were swinging at him like a madman.
1.
Okay, good. He was ballerinaing it. He was on his tiptoes like this, just spinning that air around. So Danny does not take fall damage. However, was there someone else affected by this? It was you, right?
Well, what was the DC again?
22.
22 for the save. All right, so that's 14 plus wisdom is. Oh shit! I'm looking at Tamardin. Whoa, that would have been fucked up. No wonder. Looking at the wrong character sheet. Sorry. Okay.
Hey,
14
Brian.
plus wisdom is
Yeah, Ron.
16.
Hey,
But
I'm gonna have to call in tonight.
Okay.
My wife got in a car accident earlier, and I'm gonna go spend some time with her. She's all right, but she's a little.
Well, I wish you would have said something, Ron. I'm really sorry to hear that. She's okay?
Yeah, she's all right. She's just, a little sore, a little shaken up.
Okay, well, definitely. Tell her we all wish her the best, buddy. And I will, well, that's awesome. I will send you the recording of this.
That's great. I was going to ask you to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'll have you do an interaction with Alex later. I don't want to keep you anymore.
Right.
Tell her wish her the best and be careful, okay?
Alrighty. I'll see you guys Saturday.
All right, thanks, Ron. We'll see you Saturday. Well,
All right.
I think we're canceling this Saturday because it's Labor Day weekend, buddy.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep, we're going to drink some beer and forget about D&D for the whole weekend. So we'll see you next Wednesday.
All right, drinking some beers this weekend sounds good. All right.
Hell
see you
yeah,
Wednesday.
take care, man. Yep.
Okay, bye.
All right, guys.
All right. So with Spearheart, so that's 14. He gets a +2 for his wisdom is 16. And with Spearheart, your character adds their charisma modifier to any saving throw versus fear phantasmal killer. And he's proficient in charisma because of his subclass, which is an additional +7, which brings him up to 23. Does
Okay,
that pass?
that does pass. So
Awesome.
you take half the psychic damage, and the psychic damage is Would have been 12, you take 6. Okay? And the fairies on their turn, Scott, will need to flee him. Get the hell away
Okay.
from him. Full movement, okay? With that, that's his action. Cameron, you took your last 3 turns. He is in very bad shape. The behemoth has blood coming out of the sides of his mouth. The legs in the front have almost given up. Danny, it's at the point now where you've hit him and tore him up so much with this hammer, you have broke ribs, these large ribs inside the front of this thing, and you can hear them cracking as you're hitting with the hammer. He's having a hard time keeping up on those large, massive front legs, as every time he goes to shift and stuff, you can hear it sounding as if boards have broken and are creaking inside the large chest cavity of this creature, okay? With all that damage, his right arm is exposed, everyone. That is only going to be a -2 to hit. And he will take full damage on that. The front right arm, make a note of that as well. You have knocked off so much more hide on him, Danny, after that bull charge and that shit, that it is happening and it's starting to spread out over the whole front. You're just beating the hide off this son of a gun, okay? Now, Danny wasn't affected. Dahon wasn't affected, but the 3 pixies were. Danny, is that Tamardon's turn? Is he done?
Tamardon is done.
Okay. Next, the pixies, buddy.
Okay. So pixie number 2, and I believe that's 5 and 6. No, yeah, 5 and 6. 2, 5, and 6.
Okay, number 2 is, let's wind it up here because it's hard for me to keep track of it, bud. Let's see here.
Number 2 is the one closest to Tamardon.
Oh, hold on, let me get rid of the shadow real quick here. No, number 3 is on the pillar, and number 4 is on the pillar. Let's see here.
Yep. 5 and 6 is with number 2 up there with the behemoth.
Huh. I've lost something here. Okay, there's number 7 is underneath its back foot.
Oh,
Okay, let's see
I
where.
lost track of my guys.
Well, 7 used to be the spider.
That's what it is. Yeah, 7 used to be the spider, but now there's a spider. Okay, well, anyway, getting away from that, which one of these are you wanting to move, sir? You want to move these 3 first or the other ones away?
Yes, move those 3 first, at your will, because they got to run away. So it doesn't really matter to me which directions.
Okay, let me see here. There's that one. What's their maximum movement when they're using their?
6 feet. 60 feet fly.
Okay, and is that when they're actually trying to use their full action to escape, or is that just a normal movement?
That's the normal movement, 60 feet fly.
Okay, we'll just do that, and then I'll give you something they would do defensively, okay?
Okay.
Let's go, let's see.
I mean, they could probably turn back invisible.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I'm going to say it jumps over here on the shoulder of the statue and becomes invisible. Okay? Now let's go with this other one over here. It's with Danny. Let me see which one that is. That's Scout. This is the one with Danny.
Right.
Okay? Let's go ahead and move him. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then we'll do the same thing. I'll put him on the other shoulder of this one over here. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then we have a third one here. And that one is going to be, those are the ones over there. Which one are you, buddy? Let's see here. There he is, number 7. Okay. Up above the, let's see, he probably hide behind the other ones. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Right here. Okay, there's those three. Now, you have, which one you want to deal with next, sir?
All right, so my two that are on the pillars, 3 and 4.
Yes.
So they're observing everything. They're kind of bummed out that they had a short-lived confusion victory.
Right.
So they look at each other. They play rock paper scissors. Let's see. Number 3 lost
As a
and does a big sigh.
yeah, yeah.
So number 4 polymorphs number 3 into a giant eagle.
Okay, roll the saving throws. Tell me how it goes.
I'm sorry.
So you say number 3 turns into a giant eagle.
Yes.
One giant eagle coming up.
Awesome. Number 3 lost, so it's got to be an eagle.
Yeah, you're the eagle, buddy. You're it. That's so funny, dude. Just a minute. Let me get this going here. Okay, so, oh God, tokens, heroes, and enemies. Giant eagle, easy, easy. Oh, here we go.
Wait till he finds out number 3 had an illusion up that was fear-driven.
Right. I know it's ridiculous. Okay, let me fix this real quick. You guys get to see all the behind-the-scenes work this takes here.
Well, as number 4 is doing that to number 3, he yells out in his squeaky voice to forgot his name, to Raylor, and asks him if he wants to ride.
Okay. Raynor is in Centurion form, so he looks up and sarcastically, as Aquaman's character would, Jason Momoa, says, "No." Really grumpily, as he just got done running past them fires and shit, and he turned around, he's getting ready to draw his bow out, and he asks you want to ride. He's like, "No, man, no." He's just standing there.
Okay.
Funny interaction. Good deal. Okay, let's reverse it. Okay. Edit. Copy. Okay. Edit. Paste.
I was gonna pick him up and drop him on the beam.
All 4 legs. He stomp attacks. Hell yes. Okay. Let me. I'm not even gonna I need to resize it. That's pretty fucking big. Just a minute here. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Let's go resize. Let's be reasonable, everyone. We don't have to be crazy here, do we? Giant eagles, how big, Scott? How many feet at the base?
Giant eagle is a large.
That's 10 foot.
Yep. Large.
Base of a larger wingspan. We'll go about there. The body of that fits in a 10-foot cube, and the wings, of course, would be larger. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do okay.
So number 4 did its action. And then number 3 is going to fly towards the back of the behemoth and do a double attack on it.
Okay, just a minute, because you've asked me to add a giant eagle into this, and it takes me a minute here, Scott. So needy. Okay, dear God. What the hell is that thing here? Oh, it's some kind of big eraser mark. Let me erase that shit real quick. Eraser! Marks be gone. And you, and we're good with Giant Eagle. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're Giant Eagle. Okay, and that was number 3 that turned into 1. 3 is gone. Giant Eagle is in place of number 3 now. Boom. That's pretty fancy. I'm not going to lie about it. Okay, and where does it move to?
It's going to fly towards the back of the behemoth
Okay.
and attack. It's going to use its beak and a talon attack.
Awesome. Roll me some hits, buddy. It already used its reaction on Danny. Usually it gets a back kick when things are flanking it and around it, but it already used that up. So you are ready to kick it in the ass. You have advantage because you're flanking the creature with Tamarind, by the way.
Oh, okay. So
So Alex, when you flank a creature from both sides like that, you get advantage on your attack rolls because it can't defend both at the same time.
Oh, neat.
okay, so 13 and 22. So I take the higher one, right, for advantage. So 22.
Yes, a 22 hits, but it does not breach it.
Okay. So
roll your damage for that
it
one.
clawed at it first. So it's 2d6 plus 3. So it's a 4. And another 4. 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage.
Okay, you're ripping into the hide of it, and you feel like your claws got into it a little bit, but its hide is extremely tough, especially
Mhm.
back here where it's not been attacked a lot lately. You drew a little bit of blood that come down from it, but not as much as you'd like to it.
Right.
Roll me a 1d6 plus 2 to see how many armor points it did.
7.
That's awesome. Now, quick explanation. 1d4 is the non-lethal damage and armor point things you do for medium. Since you're large, it moves up to a 1d6.
Okay.
Bonus depends on what kind of weapon you have. You know, if you're using your fist, it's minus. Great swords are like pluses. And I know what your claws would be. So you did a really good job there.
And then it's going to do its second attack with its beak
Okay?
at advantage, right?
Yes, sir.
So it got a 2 and a 16. 16 hit?
16, unfortunately, does not hit.
Okay.
As you're doing that, and you scratch and you come down, as you get ready to come into it, you can see it starting to whip its tail around now that it's felt something hit it, and either eat a tail to the side of your face and possibly knock you out of the air, or be able to beak it again. You opted the better of the two, and you did a flap, and you weren't able to get that beak attack in the way you wanted. Okay?
All right. So pixie number 6 and 7. I believe,
They're on the
or
stat.
7 and 8. I'm sorry. Pixie number 7 and 8 on the bottom. One's a spider, and the other one is just a pixie that's polymorphed the spider. Yep, those two on the bottom.
I'm looking here. Hold on.
So basically, while you're doing that, those two pixies noticed that one of their friends became a giant eagle, and the pixie that isn't a spider says, "Ooh, me next," and breaks concentration on the spider. So the spider becomes a pixie.
Okay. And that was this one here, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Does breaking concentration, is that a full action? Like stopping a concentration spell?
No.
Okay. You might as well keep that pixie there, because that pixie that just turned from a spider is going to turn that other pixie into a giant eagle as well.
Okay.
How about you just add a giant eagle in its old place? That'd be
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, you're losing me. You're absolutely losing me. So we're going to replace that one we just took off with another giant eagle. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to layer, copy layer, giant eagle 2, coming in for a landing, and then we're going to go like this, and we're going to bring him down, and let's turn him around. So he is facing the right direction. Let's go like this. And then let's go like that. Okay.
Sorry, it's taking so long on my turn.
Well, no, it's okay. You understand there's a lot to do here. So just understand that I'm doing the best I can with it. Okay, so having said that, your second giant eagle is here. Where's he going?
It's flying to also attack the behemoth on its back.
Okay. I like it.
So 60 feet up and somewhere close to the other giant eagle.
Okay, let's do your distance here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. You're going to be able to get right beside it.
Okay. So it's gonna do its 2 attacks.
Okay.
Does this also have advantage? Because it's flanked,
Yes. Yes.
flanking.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Hell yeah.
Oh, well, it's a natural 20, so I can't get higher than that, right?
Right. And what's that plus your attack?
So 25.
That breaches. Go ahead.
25.
Full damage on that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So the full damage is 1d6 plus 3 because it was going to use its beak first. So that's 9 damage,
Got it?
and now it's going to attack with its talons.
Okay.
9, and another natural 20. I shit you not.
Are you serious? Really? You did 2 in a row?
Yep.
All right. What's the damage for this?
Well, I had a 9 and then a 20.
Roll full. This
this
is
one
full
is
damage. You don't have to roll for this. Full damage.
Okay, yeah, it's 2d6 plus 3 because it's talons. So it's 12 plus 3, 15.
Okay, 15. You get a point of inspiration for that. Keep that in mind. Write that down.
Okay.
And with that last attack, as you claw into its side and rip off a huge piece of flesh from it, the behemoth drops down on its front legs. It is severely wounded. Okay? And it drops down another 5 foot from underneath your grasp if you picked into it. Blood is coming out of these gashes that you guys have made into it, and it is in critical shape after that barrage from the eagles. He is looking rough. What else do you have to do on the pixie's turn? Is that it?
The only person left is Almexia, but she's gonna stay with Jadite and not do anything.
Okay. All right. With that, it is the top of the turn, and it is going to be Dahon's turn. You are prone and on that side of a wall of flame that was meant to protect you because you were down on the ground. What are you doing, Dan? You're muted, sir. Sorry about that. I can't hear a word of it.
All right, so with Spearheart, because of what happens, his movement is plus half. So he's going to use of that, see, 35 plus half would be, let's call it 15, 40, 50. So he's going to use 25 foot to get up, and he has 25 feet. He's going to move 25 feet in a diagonal, trying to get a view of that big open spot on its chest. That's all he's got to be able to do is see it.
Okay, so you're going to stay on this side of the flaming wall?
No, he's going to walk right through it.
Okay, roll me a dexterity saving throw. Tell me what you get.
Actually, first of all, let me see if he has concentration on the behemoth. No, he does not. 4. So
Okay,
instead,
you are no longer in the thank you.
So instead, that leaves me an option. That actually works out.
Yep, you have a bonus action now, right?
Yes, with my bonus action, I'm going to invoke Phoenix Tattoo and walk through the flame.
Okay, well, okay. You only take half damage from the flame.
Right.
It's not exactly what you're used to. It's not exactly Phoenix Flame. So describe to everybody what just happened. Did they see you shift from a behemoth-looking creature, because we are recording? Explain to everybody what they just saw go down as you pick yourself up off the ground from being prone.
So as the earth that had been floating around him falls away, what you would actually see come back is as he stands up. Gotta get to the Phoenix part. Basically, he starts to lightly glow with swirling red and gold flames, and he would form his hands into the shape of a beak as he did, as he took this stance lighter on his toes and up like that. and a little bit of swirling flame around him, just whiffs of it. It's not like a big aura of flame, but it's like swirling whiffs of flame that come in and out.
Like actions behind your arms, they trail after you like the wind. Yeah.
Yeah. He runs through the flame, though, trying to get a view of that open area.
Okay, I will have you roll a dex check for half or no damage.
I'm going to take half damage because I got a whopping 8 on the dex check.
Okay. Now, that's going to take twice your movement. So you're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
That would be all he has because he took half his movement out to get up.
Okay, so upon saying that, you take, it would have been worse, but you're taking 11 points of necrotic damage.
All right. With that, he has this round. This would be his 4th round. I'm going to do the math here. 7 every 3. So that is.
This would be your last, this would be your lesser of the two.
He should be starting a new set. This is his. No, you're right. It would
Begin
be
at the lesser of the two, correct?
3, 2, 2. Right. So he goes 2. He has 2 this time.
Okay.
But he has a extra 1 attack per round because of Spear Heart.
Right.
So using one of those attacks, he's going to say, "You've seen the Behemoth and the Phoenix meet the first mate," and he whips out Aeolus's pistol and fires all 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's cool. Okay, so you're making me scramble. Hold on, I'll tell you what the bullets are. Hold on. That's cool, buddy. All right. Let's see what kind of shit Aeolus packed in there for you. Just 1 minute. Oh, that's badass. I forgot you had that, you sneaky bastard. All right. Aeolus, the Sky Dragon Lunari, the airship captain that handed you his 3-barreled musket aimed with special shot that was made by the dwarven bombardier and explosives expert Dauntus. And now we're going to see which one of these you have. I'll have you roll for it. Just a minute. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn. Roll me a 1d6. And how many?
3.
You get 2 shots with it, right?
It's 3 barrels.
Well, you have 2.
Yeah, but he can't reload it. He's just firing all 3
No, it's
barrels at
full.
once.
It has 3 barrels on it. So with two attacks, I will say you're able to squeeze and make 2 accurate shots with the
Okay.
firearm. Okay. So roll me a, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Roll me a 1d6. And I'll tell you which kind of bullet you get.
The first one was a 3.
Okay, that is a lightning bullet. Remember that. Put an L down for lightning. Roll me another 1d6.
2.
That is a fire one. Now roll me one more just for the hell of it.
4.
Okay. That is a thunderball one. That's a big one. Okay. So you got lightning fire, and one of them is a thunderball shot. Okay. Now you're shooting 2 of these, but you don't know what's in what. Okay. So we're going to do a random thing here. The first shot you do, Scott, I'm going to have you, or no, Alex, you haven't been doing much. I'll have you do this. A
Okay.
1 or 2 is a lightning shot. A 3 or 4 is a fire shot. And a 5 or 6 is the thunderball.
Okay.
I want you to roll 1d6 and tell me what you get.
5.
That thunderball shot right off the top, Danny. Okay, so that's awesome. Tell me, roll your attack, and I'm going to give you advantage because it is preoccupied with shit. Okay.
All right, so with advantage would be a 17 plus his dex. Shit, what? 18, and I'm going to use my point of inspiration to add to that.
1d10.
9.
That gives you a total of 18 plus 9.
27.
That's a breaching hit. You were shooting into that area that's open?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't matter. Roll me damage. Holy shit, Danny. That is 3d8 piercing and 1d8 sonic. Roll 4d8. When you do, you need to roll a strength saving throw with disadvantage to keep the gun from kicking out of your hand and knocking you prone.
21, and fuck, he drops the gun. He got a 4.
Okay. You also take,
Or 12 total. I don't know what the DC
you
is.
do, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage to your wrist. Okay? As you drop the gun, and I need you to roll to make sure you're not dazed. Roll me a Constitution saving throw to make sure you're not dazed. And I know the DC.
18 plus 7.
You pass. As Danny goes over there and looks down this thing, you see him pull this short, maybe like 2.5 foot tall, nasty looking steampunk 3-barreled, what looks like an arquebus of some kind out, and points it back with his big strong forearm, turns it to the side and gives it a look for just a minute, pulls the trigger. A visual sonic wave that blasts out of this thing. You can see the air around it vibrate and almost like sound waves as it blasts out from him. Shots that are hot like fire shoot out of this thing almost like a shotgun shell as things just go over and pepper the whole left arm and get into that exposed left side of its chest. As it does, Danny, paint me a picture, buddy.
As Dahan does that, he rolls up and he says that you've seen bear attacks, you've seen the flame bird. I'll meet the first mate, squeezes that off, and then immediately goes, fuck! Throws it. And doesn't even realize he killed the beast because he's looking for Ao's pistol. Shit! And he's scrambling to pick it up.
That's fantastic. Tell us about how the beast goes down, where it hits, and what it does when it dies, Danny. Is it where you want to hit it? You just shoot it in the edge. That's your reaction, right?
Yeah, shot it right in the spot.
Okay. As it does, Scott, some of these hot flying pieces barely catch the wings of your pixie as a giant eagle. Tamerdan, you feel these things go through to things. You feel little sears of hot passing past your face. As you look through, blood patters across the right side of your cheek and onto your helmet as you can hear it like rain on a tin roof. As you see all these little hot projectiles shoot through the arm, go deep into the chest, and all of a sudden you see the creature start to swagger, and its head turns up to the side as its tongue rolls out, and lets out almost like a death howl, which is very haunting that the creature does this. I need Tamerdan to roll a dexterity saving throw to get out from underneath it before it falls on it.
Oh, do I have to admit it?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, 6 plus 4, 10.
Okay. On this, Alex rolled me a 1d20. Let's see what the DC is for him to get. 11 or higher, and he's under a dying behemoth.
6.
6. Danny's like, what was it, a Monty Python? Jesus Christ! as it comes in, it comes down on him. Here, run away! And just stops it dead. This thing just comes down. It lands on top of you, Danny. You are going to take. Shit. Way to end it, buddy. Six.
No, he got out from under it.
No, he didn't. It had to be high. Oh no, she did. Okay, that's right. My bad. I thought you got under it. You barely escaped it. I was thinking the flip of it. My bad. You're able to scoot out of the way just in time as this thing falls down and lands in front of you. All the rubble and stuff is caught, and there's blood spattered in that web that was stuck between its two front horns. As you guys appear to be victorious against the summoned behemoth creature. As that happens, the creature, normally like a summoned creature, you would think would start to crumble and fade away or turn into some kind of lesser material. This does not. But you do hear something else happen. Okay? On the staff, you see a energy burn in some of the writing on the large staff that is in the hands of the stone pillar or the stone guardian. I will say here in the middle, the one that was holding it to begin with, I believe was, no, the staff was over on this one, wasn't it? That's where it came from. This one here had that big giant staff leaning against it. The beginning, remember that, guys? You're going to see 2 or 3 of those giant runes, literally giant kind and giant runes, turn into flame and burn themselves off of the actual staff and disappear as if a charge of the staff has been used. And over in this direction somewhere, you see a portal kind of pop and blink out of existence, as if it had some kind of tether to go back to where it had been summoned from. And now that this has happened, when this portal that no one even knew was there closes, you see a large spiked iron chain that has been cut in half, that falls like 8 or 9 foot straight down to the stone floor of this Colosseum and lands. And it just now comes into view. It's not been apparent this whole time. And it runs over, and you see it shackled around the neck of this behemoth creature as it lays there dead. This thing was tethered to the other side somehow still. That had been summoned from. And when it opened that portal, it snapped this great black iron chain that has these awesome barbs in it and tethered it. And now the creature's laying there defeated. The crowd wants to cheer, and as they do start to cheer, they see these things happen, and it's a bit off-putting. At that point, you would notice that Valimar and Landorus seem to be having a concerned conversation. The right and left hand guardians of the king, King Omadon, with him, trying to frantically figure out what has just happened, what has transpired. Obviously, nobody saw this coming.
Bast in the stands. I'd like to make a perception check to see if he's seen the runes burn on the staff.
Please do.
23 for that.
You do. Many people do. It's not a big thing for you to notice, but you definitely notice that it happened.
He looks over to Tamara and he says, "What do you think would happen if we destroyed the rune on the staff that's glowing rather than strike the creature?"
She looks over to you. She goes, "That's not the kind of magic that I would possess. But if you were able to disenchant that item, or if you're saying a giant was wielding this against us in the war to come, it could sever the link from the realm that these behemoths are summoned from to our material realm. They could be dispelled as any other item, although and mind you, she's a paladin of like 9th level, so she doesn't know that shit, but she has an idea. Nothing, it's way beyond anything she'll ever be able to do. She says, I'm not quite sure beyond that.
what would happen if you think would happen if you stuck, say, a radiant flaming dagger up inside one of them runes?
Okay, up inside of it, she looks at you, she goes, it's not a keyhole. It's a rune etched into the side of a wooden staff. What are you looking at?
Saying if I buried, because he's thinking from what he does with runes, if the rune isn't correct, and he would look over at Valdera, if we marred that rune with radiant energy, what would happen?
She goes, I don't know. She seems condescending in her tone. She goes, all I know is if you've got time to carve your name into a tree when you've got a giant behemoth coming down on you, you'll be doing better than most people I know.
He smiles, well, I've got you to distract it, right?
Of course you do. And she smiles cleverly out of her face. She goes, I'd love to do battle while you're over there drawing you and Roselia's name on a tree. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to do that for you. Okay. Let's stop at that conversation. Scott, what are you doing? Scott, you just won the Super Bowl. What are you doing?
So I am going to bring all my pixies back, like surrounding me as their normal forms. And then I have them like wave and cheer on to the crowd. Like, yay, we did it.
Not like
so
Dora. Not like we did it. We did it. Not like Dora, but cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I coolly walk over to Dehan with my unicorn guy who's about to fade away. And then I touch his shoulder again to cure wounds.
Okay.
Before my unicorn goes away, because it had like 5 rounds left. So that's 30 seconds.
Sure.
So I do that kind of quickly. So it's 1d8 plus 4.
Let's see if I can pull this off.
10.
Watch this shit. Go ahead. I'm listening to you, buddy.
10 points. He heals for 10 points, and then everybody else around heals for 8.
Nice. Hey, Danny,
I
check
can
this
make
out.
sure everybody's healed.
Heal the wound.
And then I snap my finger, and one by one, my little pixies start fading away in the distance as they wave and cheer on to the crowd.
Nice, buddy. Okay, that is a hell of an exit. And you got a point of inspiration out of that shit too, man. That was awesome. Okay, Alex, in the crowd, as you're up there and you were failing this check, as the fight goes on, you see other sorcerers around you start to look nervously as they're shaken in your ability to help them keep up the force field, okay? I would like for you to roll me another concentration check. I'll say near the end of the battle and see how you were doing later on once they started getting a grasp over the fight.
Ready? Let's see. 4 plus wood concentration.
Concentration. That's a constitution one, isn't it, guys? When you're trying to keep concentration on something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a 6.
Okay. So, yeah, you made it difficult as if, and there were a couple points there where it looked like that field was breaking in places or wearing thin. Whereas it's not, it's completely transparent. You couldn't see through it. But when places started to wear thin, those are the places that started to glow a light yellow color, almost like an aura. And you would look almost like a line was burning away slowly, like a piece of a burn hole in the middle of a piece of paper. And you would have started creating a couple of those on your side, maybe a couple in other places. where it was hard for them to hold the force field up. It was dangerous. By the end of the battle, now I would like for you to roll me a perception check. This is going to be wisdom, which you will have your proficiency bonus added to.
Yep.
Okay? So, 16. As you were sitting there and trying to regain yourself, where you lost focus from what you were doing, you gained focus again in listening to these Rougarous, or these bugbear warriors from the Lost Wood, far to the northwest, on the right side of the Red Mountains, and you heard them. And the reason they had these dragonas on these leashes and chains, walking them around the outside of the arena, is because they had said that if the Behemoth were to break free of this place, they were contracted that these were actually hunting hounds, and they were going to sick them on them to help combat that, to keep the damage that the Behemoth, if it got free, could do to the people in the stands and to the city as well. So although they are not good freaking people, they've been commissioned somehow to be mercenary warriors that know how to manage these dogs and have trained them. Where if the Behemoth were to get free or go nuts, they were going to sick a pack of them on them under the control of these Rougarou mercenaries. So they're not looking for you particularly, but they were walking around watching the fight very intently. And there was a couple times, and you were able to hold your guys up pretty well. But near the end of the fight, you failed some checks, and you felt yourself shrink, and you know that you lost it for a while. Okay? At one of those moments throughout the battle, you saw when they started these little burning patches in there, like the force field was lessening, you would have seen one of them things turn around at you and kind of snarl at your direction. And it looked right at you. Now you had your hood down, and you were concealed to a degree, and this one wasn't looking for you in particular, so you felt like you were very lucky. Okay?
Yep.
You did not see the main one, the one you remember from your childhood. He was not present during this. That's reassuring and also worrisome at the same time.
Mhm.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Having said that, what is Cameron rolled out of the way? What is your celebration dance, my friend? What are you doing when you just get out of the way as the large horns land on the ground in front of this thing?
Well, now that he's back on his feet after the spell collapsed and everything, he puts his hammer on the ground, puts it with the head up, crosses his arms over it, takes a deep breath, and goes, "Oh. If only Soren would have been here, he'd have got a great meal out of this one."
Right on. And you know, of course, Soren is his bear. I don't know if you guys realize this or not.
Mhm.
With that, it seems that they're done with their trial. The king stands, and he looks out, and he speaks with an amplified volume as if someone has enchanted his voice with some kind of spell. And his voice seems to come from all different corners of the arena here, the Hawk Lord Arena, as it is deemed. Okay? He says, I never had a doubt, not for a moment, that citizens of our great city would find a way to triumph on this day. He raises an eyebrow and he goes, to you that have shed your blood and sacrificed your time to show us the way to bring these bastards down, we thank you. And as he says that, Valimar and Landerless stand up on their side, and with that, down the four main stairways that go towards the outside ring of the arena, those pole-armed soldiers in the black and gold banners that represent the colors of the city begin to march down, and a music starts up, almost like a victory music from the musicians' area in this arena. As they march down, great horses are brought out of the main gates of this place, and they are hooked up and beginning to rope up and chain this creature and are going to drag it back into one of those main gates. There are two what seem to be mages of some kind. They're dressed in similar garb, definitely representatives of the city, that seem to levitate this great creature to a certain degree. As you see the shadow lessen, go ahead, Danny.
Dahon rushes up to it and says, holds his hand up and takes out his skinning knife and cuts enough of that hide off to repair his behemoth mantle.
Okay, so that doesn't happen. Because when you go to get up close to him, the people with the pole arms and the people that are levitating this turn towards you and say the fight is over. This animal has been selected for someone else's use. You've done your duty.
He took from me, from my behemoth mantle, I'll take from him.
Okay? Okay, 4 guards break off from this creature and stand to you with their pole arms, not drawn to you, but at their side, and say, we are under strict orders. This creature is done and must be examined and studied by our people. So this is not for you to take from warrior. They stand in between you and the creature. And as everyone's cheering and they're just ushering this thing off, you see a hush come over the crowd and you hear people going, what's he doing? What's going on down there? And you're seeing this, Oma, and you're seeing him go through this down there, and you're worrying that possibly he's making a mistake. You know, for him, the fight's not over. The force field is broken. Is there anything that you are doing in particular? Jadite, you're also seeing this. As you guys are celebrating, he is staying there and seems to have beef with the people that are taking this creature off. What are you guys doing?
So Jadite is pretty much leaning on the closest pillar. I'm pretty sure there was a pillar somewhere close by.
Yep.
And just like arms crossed and coolly looking at what's unfolding. And he's going through like all the scenarios that could happen in the next few minutes in his head. So he's readying himself for whatever Tamardin's reaction would be.
Okay. With that, Oma, what are you doing, if anything?
I'd be looking around to see if I could find if I could see the Wanruguru while that's going on.
I'm sorry, the what now?
I'd be looking to see if I could find if I could see that one Ruguru.
Okay. So as this is happening, you're getting nervous and you're starting to look around. As that happens, you do notice that you see the king and Valimar stand up and are looking to see what the mischief is and what's happening down in the middle of the arena. At that, they are standing their ground as the behemoth is being escorted out slowly, 5 foot at a time behind you. Danny, what are you doing?
Dahon fucking swells up a little bit. He steps forward and he goes, you who don't have the courage to fight this creature in front of you, when we bested it, now we're going to stand in front of me.
You walk 5 foot forward when you do that?
Okay. He does.
4 pole arms are drawn, pointed right at you at point blank range. As they are drawn and pointing at you, they say, we are fearless when we fight for the honor of our king. The Black Hawks will stand against this intrusion on our orders. And they stand and point this thing right at you. I need you.
We rolling initiative?
No, I'm doing some intimidation right now. There's 4 of them on him.
Okay. I was like, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, 19. You have to. So what is it saying? I am rolling intimidation of a 19 is what you have to beat to not be intimidated by what's happening here.
That would be a 17 plus his charisma bonus is a 24 with proficiency.
Okay. So although they're making a strong stand, they're physically standing there is not bothering you. That's not an issue. What are you doing?
Shit. Been nice if he'd have failed that. It really would have been. Man, it just, this sucks because this is
No,
his
it doesn't.
cauldron.
'Cause I see the smile on Scott's face, and I think it's awesome.
He steps forward another 2 feet, steps up against the spear.
Okay, roll initiative.
Technically, I casted only 4 spells that whole fight, so I'm good.
Oh,
I'm rolling initiative too.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
25 total.
Okay. Okay, now you have initiative over the 4 that are looking at you, truly, but there's one person you don't have initiative on. Okay, someone that stood up and took notice to what was going on while this was happening. Okay, I need you to roll. Just a minute. Books are great. Books are fantastic.
Fuck, day on.
Just a moment, buddy.
Oh, it's Dahan that's doing this? I thought it was Tamardin that was doing this.
Stay on.
Oh, yeah. I'm not affiliated with Dahan. So,
He's like, bye. Hold on. Just a minute. Okay. Roll me a wisdom saving throw with a DC of
6.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, 4 plus a 2.
Okay, I don't even need to finish what I'm doing. Okay. As you go to move forward, you feel as if you become short of breath. And as you go to walk forward, you feel that your arms are very heavy and pulled against your sides. As you try to fight against what's going on, you feel as if you can't even turn your head to look around to see what's going on. Something has taken a hold of you in an arcane way. You can't see anything around you as your eyes search, but you can't move your chin. You hear footsteps against the stone, heavy ones at first. And you've been there for a good 15, 20 seconds now as they begin to drag the creature on back down that direction into the stronghold opening, okay? As the gates, these aren't kind of rise, these ones actually go sideways. It's neat, the whole outer ring of this place, the stone doors actually are curved and they slide shut and have the icon of the hawk in the middle that overlaps the other door. So when they part, half of this figurine of a hawk moves with the other part of the door. And it's a really neat system, very loud stone, almost very Tomb Raider-ish. You can hear the stone being pushed and the metal clanking and the chains rattling as these things move. And as it's getting drawn back down that way, you see Valimar over to the side. He has his shoulder covered with the shawl and his sword at his side, and he looks up to you. He doesn't say anything. It's not an angered look, but it is an unpleased look, as Valimar doesn't show a whole lot of emotion. He is almost like the Clint Eastwood of fighters, and you know this, and he looks like Agent Ward from Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's just looking down, and you can see the muscles flex in his cheeks as he grits his teeth. And he looks over and he stands before you, 10 foot in front of you, standing looking at you. He has not drawn his sword, and the black is over top of his body, okay? And his one unarmored arm is hanging out and almost like a half fist hanging at his side as he's leaning towards you a little bit from 10 foot away, but he's not drawing anything. He's standing his ground. Okay? Then you hear a whispered word over top of your right shoulder. As it says, maybe I misspoke when we converged and talked about this earlier just today. He says, but one of your own friends and own kind, Gwyneth, has privy to this creature. I am sure they could strike a deal with you with the money you will raise from working for the king and slaying these beasts in the future. It is Landerless, which looks like Elrond and Agent Smith and the Red Skull and all those people, and he is the court mage, the high court mage of King Omadon, dressed in the black and gold with the circlet of black and gold as well. He is speaking over your shoulder, obviously the one holding the spell on you. He looks at you and he holds his hand up in just kind of an odd way and moves his fingers around enough where you can feel it relieve itself around from your neck for just a moment. He goes, no harm will come to you, but no harm will come to anyone else either. As we can see, you've broken your agreement to this concept. I am forced to hold you against your will. Valimar speaks up. He looks at him and he goes, Landerless, let him go. He goes, I beg your pardon. He goes, you heard me. People don't hold warriors like us back like this. Let him go. With that, Landerless takes a long 20 steps back. He looks at this and says sarcastically, if you wish to grab the bull by the horns, be my guest. We have clerics available. And he stands back and breaks this hold. Scott, you are eating arcane popcorn right now. You're just like, whoo, oh boy. Okay, you're all about it. Alex, you're seeing this shit go down. Danny, you feel the tension being pulled off of you as the gates slam closed, the hawk figure slamming back into the closed stone doors. The only remnants of this creature are some hair and a lot of blood and some shrapnel and shit laying across the battlefield, which was the Colosseum floor. And now Valimar stands to you, 10 foot out in front of you. Now listen, I will say this. I will say this to you. I want you to play your character. I want you to make this shit as interesting as possible. Okay? But I also want you to realize that you're not a lunatic barbarian. Okay?
Right.
If you want to play him like a lunatic barbarian, that's perfectly fine. And we can adjust to that. Okay? And I'm not trying to get you out of any hot water, because this going down right after the gladiator fight is almost like the cool scene at the end of a Marvel movie after the credits. I mean, this is the shit. So go ahead, by all means, start shit with Valimar and Landerless. I would love to see that. So go ahead.
With that, he kind of flexes a little bit, does his little Bruce Lee thing, and as he does, the phoenix flames fade away, and he looks down to Valimar. Thank you for that.
Roll a charisma check.
17.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. He looks to you. He gives you such a small nod that you're not even sure if he moved or not. Okay? But the shawl is still over top of his shoulder, and you know that if he keeps that over top of his shoulder, he's not ready to do battle. He hasn't cocked the gun, so to speak. And he looks to you, and he says, for another creature, on another day, Dahan.
If
Go
Gwyneth,
see the clerics. Go see Omen.
if Gwyneth has it, Ao will give me a piece of it.
He takes a breath, And he walks up within arm distance of you. And he looks at you and he forces a hard smile. And he says, I'm sure no greater peace than you've already taken of the creature yourself today. Leave here with honor.
He looks to him and he says, it's our way. When we slay something like that. And he pats to the behemoth hide that's there. And
as you're patting and you go to say something, he might almost interrupt and shake hands because I know. But we're not where you're from right now. We're not where I'm from either right now. We're in the cities that I protect. And he goes, you knew that when you came through the gates.
he smiles and he says, your little spearmen are brave.
He looks at you and he goes, they're paid well to be. And they know if they die, that their families are set.
Tell them there's honor and bravery. And he turns on his heel and starts walking toward the gate. As he does, he's scanning the crowd to see if he can see that Medusa lady.
Roll a perception check of disadvantage. Big fucking place, buddy.
10 plus 2. Oh, wait, no, he's got proficiency in perception. 16 total.
No, not quite. You make out a couple figures that could be her, but you do not make her out in particular. You don't even find Dantus. God, I hate his name. You don't even see Dantus for sure. Okay. You would see Ron's character actually walks out and he kind of looks nervously down at the edge of the Colosseum as he could walk out to you. And he's looking confused as if he's not sure if he's allowed to walk out or not. And he looks over to you and he's looking at the guards and seeing what's happened. And he just smiles, kind of a nervous smile, as if he's trying to charm you in some way. And he's saying, and he's waving over and you can hear him in the distance yelling, come over here. Come over here. Let's discuss what's happened today. Let's discuss it. It's like he's like an older fellow trying to get you out of a fight. And he's waving you over to the sidelines. What are you doing?
He looks around, nods at Rainlord, looks for Oma, and then kind of starts stepping that way.
Okay. As you get up halfway that way, you see a conversation between him and Valder and some other ones. They've eventually and honestly told him that he's able to walk out to you. And as he begins to walk out in that direction, accompanied by Tamara, the two stop and meet you probably about 40 foot, or like, no, it's not that big. Probably like 15, 20 foot before you get completely out of the ring, Danny. And as he comes up to you, he automatically says something, and you see the feathers on his head kind of stand up a little bit, almost like a bird has had attention to a degree. He still does have the feathers for hair. And as he does that, there's an empowered look about his face as he says a mumbled word, and you feel something and grasp upon you. And he looks at you and he says, that should take care of that. He says, it's important that your mind is clear for things like this. I've learned that. As watching you, no one will be able to mess with your mind anymore for at least a while. And what he's done is he's given you a bonus of 1d4 to wisdom saving throws for a certain duration as long as he keeps concentration on. He has blessed you in some kind of magical way. Okay? As he does that, and Tamara comes up to you and goes to lay a hand on your shoulder as her hand radiates a very dull white glow. And she goes, and I'll take care of the outside. And she goes up and she heals up any kind of wounds and things that you may have had left over, which I don't think you had many. Scott's character did pretty good.
Actually, he catches her hand and he says, "The elf has got me. Save that for your battle."
Okay. As you catch her hand, she does not like that. She does not like people catching her hand. Because it's Tamara. Okay. So as you do, she yanks her hand back in a fist, and holds it tight to her. She goes, "You truly are stubborn." Because maybe it would have been better off if someone could have put you in your place, either the Behemoth or Valimar, one or the other. I'm sure eventually you'll find it. And she's surprisingly upset that you laid hand on her, especially grabbing her wrist. She looks at
calms him,
just like this over her shoulder like that, and kind of gives him a look.
He
Turns around and
calms.
walks away.
He says, "I didn't mean to offend you. I just know what you're up against."
She's still walking as if she didn't hear, but you know she did. Ignatius just kind of smiles in an endearing way and looks at you, kind of raising his eyebrows curiously, and goes, "She's just upset. Many people have high emotions. You yourself just did a minute ago. I wouldn't judge her too harshly. Maybe it's best to leave the fighting for the creatures, you know?"
Well,
He goes, and then also
surely
he goes
disregard me.
to flattering. He goes automatically into flattering you to change your mind and get your mind focused on something else other than what just happened, which he's very smooth at. Ignatius seems to be very good with rolling over words and being very honest and flattering a person to get them to forget what has been going on. And he starts automatically asking you about the different forms you took when you were in the battle. And he looks absolutely fascinated. And he's looking at your feet. And he goes, "I could have swore did I see hoof marks when you were out there charging? I did, didn't I?" And he says, "In your arms like this," and he kind of ironically mocks you. It looks kind of silly, him doing it with his smaller frame, but he's like a fan of yours, and he's showing his arms. And all of a sudden with that, you seem alleviated some way, as if you're starting to kind of get back into us, and you start tough, and by the time he's talked for a few minutes, you're like, "Huh, yeah, that was me, what of it?" You know, it kind of takes you that direction. With that, I'm sure Ron will watch this, and thanks for letting me play your character, buddy. With having said that, I think we'll chill. It's already 10:35 on a weeknight.
Mhm.
And then we will get into the next scrap, which will involve the other crew. Alex, for fun, I am going to send you some information on Tamara,
Okay.
and I'm going to let you play her in the fight.
Oh, neat.
Okay? So you get to play a badass flail-wielding paladin, going in here and putting down and being vengeful and aggressive. She's like a warrior woman. So if you just think of like the mindset of Wonder Woman from the movies,
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, that's her all day.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can have a conversation. I may send you some information on her this weekend. And then you can play through her for the fight. I'll be Valdera. Danny will be Bastille. And Ron will be in this fight coming up probably next Wednesday as Ignatius, the cleric, Avian. I think that'll be good. With that, everybody have a good time?
Absolutely.
That was a pretty good fight. Dude, that dude was tough, man. That dude was tough. And he had legendary resistances. And I know that's a bummer when he does that kind of thing, but you got to understand, you're burning through those. It's like sacrificial flies, you know what I mean? Once you get through so many, he can only fight off so much. And opening up that bare spot, I like the way that armor point mechanic works, where if you knock off so much in an area, that makes a wounded area that's easier to attack and damage. So,
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, the ground control by Rain Lord, keeping him in spot, Danny throwing that ship down with his Warhammer. What's the name of Cameron's Warhammer?
That is on character sheet.
The something forge, right? the Foe Forge.
Yeah.
That was awesome. You doing that ground control too, holding between the pillars. The pixies were great. Some really neat stuff there. And Alex, I tried to involve you as much as I could. It was kind of everyone else is in it, but you'll be in the next one, okay?
Ready.
And I'll have Scott possibly playing the Behemoth in the next one. And I'll ask you some choices what you want to make. I'll give you a sheet on them. Now that you fought one, I don't mind sharing some stuff with you. So I'll take a picture.
Okay.
Some ideas what he can pull off, and I might have you help me fight against him. That way everybody's involved. So you can help me kick the shit out of people.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that my my fairy supported, or my character supported. I wanted the fight to look like it was nothing to Jedi, since he's used to seeing large beasts,
Yeah.
larger beasts.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, if what's his name? If give me 1 second, scrolling down to him.
It's okay. If you just describe I can tell you the name of them. Saru?
Saru, yeah. If Saru was watching, that hopefully he would notice me.
Oh, hell yeah, cool. I like that. I like knowing the behind the scenes on that. Good deal.
Yeah.
Quite possibly so. That's awesome. So, and I mean, Dahon got hurt and got tore up a couple times. And I know Tamerden was getting ready to get some pounding and shit like that, but the healing, the movement control, and this creature was not very intelligent. But it had some things that really hurt. The psychic thing that forced all the pixies away. Some really cool elements into the fight. I thought it was challenging. It was fun.
Yeah.
Good.
And I know I was controlling a lot of characters, but
Yeah.
I feel like I've planned ahead enough that my my time to move all of them and to get all their actions was in a reasonable time frame. I could probably get it quicker.
It was fun. And I don't get stuck too easy anymore on it. Go ahead, Danny.
I was gonna say, like, I was playing 2 characters, and I was almost gonna say how stressful that was, and then I realized he was whopping out 8 pixies and a unicorn and everything else. I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay over here and shut up then.
Yeah, right. And now I lost track, and it was when I turned pixies into spiders, back into pixies. I did. I mean, had I had it all written down, but I have so many things written down in that fight. I mean, think about it. How many characters were there in that, actually? A lot.
And I didn't really get to call Tori on either.
But I don't think I derailed us too much in the pulling things up and shit. I thought it was fun. So anyway, having said that.
Could I get a copy of the video too as well? I want to show my buddy.
Yeah, and
he hasn't been able to come.
I'm going to. We had some good role play in there. It's just the same kind of shit we do every time. There was nothing fancy. We're not putting on a show for people. This is how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can format that. I think it's MP3.
Okay.
Or which one's video? Is it MP4?
MP4.
It's MP4 format. So I'll find a way of doing that. I'll either send it to you, or I will upload a copy of it into a folder on the Google Drive.
Okay.
And then it can be downloaded from there. Hopefully. I mean, it's going to be hours long, so it's going to be hard to get from place to place.
I mean, worst case scenario, if you have like a YouTube account, even if you're not paying for it, like a free version, you can upload it to your little channel and then just give us a link and we can watch it off your YouTube account.
I might do that because I do have a YouTube channel. So
yeah,
I'll probably do that. It'll take a while to upload it, but I'll try it and we'll just have it that way. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Me and Danny will do our whole talking session afterwards. I hope everyone had fun.
Yep.
And I will see you guys in a week on Wednesday.
Yes. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody.
Right on, man. Good deal.
Have
a good night.
All right.
You too.
Thanks, man. Later, guys. And we're stopping recording now.